Hello friends, welcome to my channel BioSquare. Today we will continue with the second lecture of Living World chapter. So let's start. In our previous lecture, we have studied about what is biology, what is life, how do we define living organism. In this lecture, we will see about the characteristics of living organism in detail. So let's start without wasting much time. Okay, so here we have the first characteristics of living organism, that is growth. ठीक है, growth can be termed as increase in mass और इंक्रीज इन नंबर. अगर कोई अपने नंबर को इंक्रीज करके अपने मास को बढ़ा रहा हो तो दैट इज ऑल्सो टर्म्ड एज ग्रोथ. ओके, एज यू कैन सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन द ट्विन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ग्रोथ आर इंक्रीज इन मास एंड इंक्रीज इन number. And we are very familiar with the fact that animals may growth is limited, but in plants the growth is unlimited. They can grow throughout their life, but animals may at certain age their growth stop. अब हमें ये पता है कि इंक्रीज इन मास इज अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ ग्रोथ. ठीक है, तो जो यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म है वो अपने मास को कैसे इंक्रीज करते हैं? बाय रिप्रोडक्शन ऑफ न्यू ऑर्गेनिजम्स द यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स इंक्रीज देयर मास और एल्स दे ग्रो. ठीक है, तो उनके केस में क्या होता है कि ग्रोथ और रिप्रोडक्शन जो है वो आपस में म्यूचुअली इंक्लूसिव इवेंट्स होते हैं, मतलब अ काइंड ऑफ सेम इवेंट्स. बट हमारे केस में या फिर किसी भी मल्टीसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म के केस में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता. सो हमारे केस में क्या ग्रोथ एंड रिप्रोडक्शन म्यूचुअली इंक्लूसिव इवेंट्स है? ऑब्वियसली नो, दे आर म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट्स. As you can see written on your screen, in higher plants and animals, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive events. At the same time, in unicellular organisms, growth and reproduction are mutually inclusive events. Now, in the second statement, in animals, the growth stops after a certain age, but in some tissues, the damaged cells are replaced and renewed. At the same time, in adults, there are also tissues which have greatly reduced capacity to renew damaged or diseased cells. In adults, most cell division is involved in tissue renewal rather than growth. Okay, as we have seen, कि एनिमल्स में ग्रोथ स्टॉप्स एट सर्टेन एज. सो अगर कोई सेल डिवीजन हो रहा है किसी उस एज के बाद, सो दैट सेल डिवीजन इज used or is occurring because of renewal of certain cells or tissues, but not because of growth. ठीक है, वो जो सेल डिवीजन हो रहा है दैट इज नॉट रिजल्टिंग इनटू एनी काइंड ऑफ ग्रोथ, रादर इट इज हेल्पिंग इन रिन्यूअल और रिमूवल और रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ डैमेज्ड एंड इंजर्ड सेल्स. जैसे कि स्किन सेल्स, liver cells, they can be a good example of it. At the same time, in adults there are tissues like the neurons or the nerve cells or the heart tissues or heart cells, जिनमें कि बहुत ही कम कैपेसिटी होता है कि वो अपने आप को रिन्यू कर लें या रिप्लेस कर लें विद अ न्यू सेल. So that's all about this statement. Now we all know that increase in mass is a characteristics of growth. What if the increase in mass occurs externally? If I keep something on my table, then the mass of the table gets increased. So can I consider that as a growth? Obviously no. तो क्या है कि in living organisms the accumulation and increase in mass occurs internally. It does not occurs externally. जो टेबल पे हमने चीज़ रख दिया टेबल के ऊपर, so that is a kind of external deposition of mass you can say. ठीक है, so जिसकी वजह से टेबल का मास ultimately बढ़ रहा है. So that is not a characteristics of living organism. In that way, if we consider this situation, then we can't say that table is a living organism. But लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स कौन से होते हैं जिनमें कि एक्यूमुलेशन या फिर इंक्रीज इन मास जो है वो इंटरनली हो रहा हो. सो नाउ वी आर वेरी क्लियर, वी हैव अंडरस्टूड एवरीथिंग. अब आप ये बताओ, what do you, after understanding so many things, what do you feel? Can we consider growth as defining property? The answer is obviously no, because it includes many parameters, okay, which are also possessed by non-living things. So we can't say growth is defining property or defining feature of living organisms. So the next characteristics of living organism is reproduction. सबसे पहले let's see some organisms, how do they reproduce. जैसे कि fungi, it reproduces by spores. What are spores? Spores are microscopic biological particles that allow fungi to be reproduced. Yeast and hydra, they reproduce by budding. Budding means from the matured body a small protruding part comes out, which slowly and gradually develops itself, and as soon as it gets developed, it detaches from the main body part, and that till the time it is attached with the main body. That part is termed as bud. In flatworms, if we cut any part of their body, okay, they can easily regenerate that part, or else they can easily reproduce that particular part. So if we consider reproduction as a defining property, not characteristic but a defining property of living organism, be very careful. One is characteristic. के characteristics क्या क्या है? Characteristic तो है ही, reproduction is a characteristics of living organism, but it is not defining living organism. Alright, क्यों नहीं define कर रही है living organisms को? Because there are certain living organisms, may that be sterile human couple who are unable to reproduce, or this mules who are sterile worker bees, ठीक है, they cannot reproduce. So obviously अगर बहुत मतलब if we go in details, then there are many organisms who cannot reproduce, but they are living, so we can't consider reproduction as defining character of living organisms. Although it's very obvious that none of the non-living organism can reproduce themselves, but it cannot become a defining character of living organism. Horse and donkey were crossed to produce mule, and the second image is of worker bees, which used to be sterile. So next living characteristic is metabolism. All living organisms are made of chemicals, and these chemicals are constantly being made and changed into new biomolecules. Thousands of molecular reactions occur simultaneously inside living organisms, may that be a unicellular or multicellular organism. Alright, so sum total of all chemical reactions occurring within our body is known as metabolism. Any chemical reaction, may that be digestion, may that be excretion, may that be exchange of gas within any living organism, ठीक है, plants, animal, ऐसा कोई भी reaction जो है उसको हम metabolism बोलते हैं. Now it can be of two types, catabolism and anabolism. What is catabolism? Catabolism is the process of breaking down large molecules into simpler ones. At the same time, anabolism means construction of new molecules which are larger in size. Now it's very obvious that no reactions or no chemical reactions are seen in the non-living organisms, ठीक है, so obviously they do not exhibit metabolism. अब अगर कोई ऐसा reaction है, chemical reaction, living chemical reaction, which is being performed in lab, we cannot call it as living or non-living, rather it is termed as living reactions. Metabolism occurs in the cells, ठीक है, because of organization of subcellular particles or molecules, ठीक है, so we can say that cellular organization of the body is defining feature of life forms. So the next living characteristic is consciousness. Consciousness means what? Awareness, ठीक है, in general consciousness means awareness. तो जो living organisms हैं, they are very much aware about whatever is happening around them in the environment or in the surrounding environment, ठीक है, and they also respond to those changes. जैसे कि plants का, plants respond to the sunlight or the sunlight rays, ठीक है, by bending towards, ठीक है, आप अगर देखोगे जिस साइड से plants get the sun rays, they get inclined towards that side. तो हम क्या बोल सकते हैं, say that plant is responding to the sunlight, that is a living organism is responding to the non-living or the environmental changes which is occurring around it. तो हम देख लेते हैं what has been written over here. All living organisms possesses the ability to sense the environment and surrounding and respond to this environmental stimuli. Plants respond to environmental factors like light, photoperiod, water temperature and pollutants. Okay, so what does the term environmental stimuli means? Environmental stimuli means any changes which occurs in the environment, okay, and which are being sensed by the living organism. That is environmental stimuli, जो कि physical भी हो सकता है, chemical भी हो सकता है, biological भी हो सकता है, ठीक है. Now another term I feel you need to understand. Now what does the term photoperiod means? Photoperiod simply means for how longer or for how many hours or for how much duration an organism is exposed to light. Now human beings are the only organism who are aware of himself and has self-consciousness. Obviously consciousness means awareness, and agar if you are aware about yourself, then it is termed as self-consciousness. All organisms also handle the chemicals entering their body. Obviously we and our immune system fight the best to prevent any kind of chemicals entering into the body, and always remain aware of the surrounding around us. Thus consciousness becomes a defining property of living organism, ठीक है. इट्स अ डिफाइनिंग प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, नॉट डिफाइनिंग फीचर. कॉन्शियसनेस जो है इट्स डिफाइनिंग प्रॉपर्टी, मीन्स ये एक गुण है लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स के. ठीक है. बट सेलुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है वो विशेषता है. फीचर मीन्स विशेषता. To be more specific, consciousness is the defining property and cellular organization is the defining feature of living organism. Okay, so interact and emergence. All living phenomena are due to underlying interactions. What does the term underlying interactions mean? बेसिकली जो हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ लिया है कि एटॉम्स कंबाइन टू फॉर्म मॉलिक्यूल्स एंड मॉलिक्यूल्स फॉर्म सबसेलुलर पार्टिकल्स, दे फॉर्म सेल एंड फर्दर सेल्स फॉर्म टिश्यूज. ठीक है. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट सेज दैट द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ सेल्स or the properties of subcellular particle are due to the molecules that combine to form a subcellular particle, or the properties of cell are due to the organelles that combine to form an cell. Interactions result in emergent properties at higher level of organization. Obviously, the level of organization increases from molecular, it is becoming subcellular, from subcellular to cellular, and then further tissue level. So इंटरेक्शंस रिजल्ट इन एमर्जेंट प्रॉपर्टीज एट हायर लेवल्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. इंटरेक्शंस की वजह से जो प्रॉपर्टीज अराइज हो रही हैं, दोज आर द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ हायर लेवल ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मीन्स सबसेलुलर पार्टिकल्स और द ऑर्गेनल्स आर इंटरेक्टिंग विथ ईच अदर टू गिव राइज टू द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सेलुलर लेवल. मीन्स at higher level of organization है वो. Cellular level is obviously an higher level of organization when compared to subcellular level. ठीक है. This phenomenon is true in hierarchy of organizational complexity at all levels. What does the term hierarchy means? वो हम इसी चैप्टर में टेक्सोनॉमी वाले पार्ट पे देखेंगे और इस स्टेटमेंट को भी हम वहीं पे पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है. Now let's see an example what NCERT has mentioned. Interactions among the molecular components comprising the organelle give rise to the properties of cellular organelles. Interactions among the constituent cells give rise to properties of tissues. This means that molecular components that further make a organelle, ठीक है, molecules that are making the subcellular particles or the organelles, these molecules give rise to the properties of organelles. Also cellular components that further form a tissue, those cellular components give rise to the property of tissue. So here we are done with the second lecture also. Success is the sum of small efforts that we put in each and every day. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any doubts, any queries related to lecture, you can mail us at biosquare25@gmail.com.